Back to the Culture Call on Praise 93.3 with L. Spencer Smith. Our desire is to reach and empower the community by discussing a cross-section of relevant topics from various perspectives that are essential to its growth and interpersonal connections. Be sure to save our call-in number, 205-752-4800. Be sure to install the free Praise 93.3 app so you can send L. Spencer Smith a message or topic idea. Search for WTSK in your app store.
This is the world premiere. Great morning, precious people. You know what time it is. That's right. It's time for your number one talk show, The Culture Call, with yours truly, L. Spencer Smith, right here on Praise 93.3 and 790 WTSK. It is indeed the place where Tuscaloosa meets the world. And for the next 2 hours, that's right, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., we're going to be talking a little bit about everything. That's right, everything from society to sports, education to economics, from religion to relationships. And as always, we are here to create a safe space. That's right, a safe space to have empowering, provocative, and yes, even sometimes, controversial conversations. And guess what? You can call in or you can chat it up with me as we learn together right here on The Culture Call. Listen, shout out. Y'all know what it is. Shout out time. Shout out number one. Welcome to all of our first-time listeners to The Culture Call. Welcome to the CC family. We are so very glad and grateful that you are here and that you have arranged your schedule, whether you're driving. You might be sitting by the pool. You might be on vacation. Yeah, you might be at work in your cubicle with your pods on or whatever it might be. But I am super, super glad and grateful that you have joined us, and somebody told you about us. Maybe you heard it on the radio, or somebody told you, hey, you better check out that little young man there. Yeah, that's me. And I am so glad and grateful that you are here. Buckle up. It's going to be a wonderful ride on this morning. Shout out number two. That's right. To all of my faithful, consistent, committed listeners to The Culture Call, I want to say thank you. Every day you make it possible for us to be and to do what we do. You are the reason why we are the number one talk show. Absolutely. And I am grateful for you. Thank you for telling everybody about us. And thank you for being consistent in your listening. Absolutely. Listen, and last but not least, shout out number three to Brother Jay. Y'all got to give it up. That's right. Stand wherever you are. You know how we do to important people, bishops and potentates and doctors and whatnot. Stand up where you are and give that man a standing ovation. I am telling you, I am so grateful to be working with him. He, my partner, my radio mentor, my radio coach. Yeah, thinker. Hey, he's a brilliant guy, and I'm grateful to have a level of proximity to him every day. Yes, indeed. We just don't know how valuable and how valued and how much God really loves us and giving us Brother Jay. So shout out to Brother Jay. Absolutely. Listen, I want to encourage you to do me a favor. Go to your smart device, whether it's an Apple or an Android device, and go to your app store, and there you're going to search out Praise 93.3. It's an app, a free 99 app. Doesn't cost you a thing. Do me a favor, download that on your phone. Yeah. Download that on your phone and make sure that you do that. And guess what? You can listen to us wherever you are, all around the country, dare I say, all around the world. You can stay in touch with what The Culture Call. And not only that, but if you get up early in the morning getting ready for work, you can hear Brother Jay from 5 all the way up to 10. And then in the afternoon, you can hear Minister Chris. We give you good news about the weather, events, all those different kinds of things. You do not want to miss having this app on your phone. So go ahead and download that app for me. And listen, I will be much appreciative if you did that. Listen, I need you also to make sure that you send me your events or, what's going on in your church, your organization. Yes, send it to me at culturecall.praise@gmail.com. That's culturecall.praise@gmail.com. That's right. Let your church secretary, let the person who's over your PR, let them know who's over your public service announcements, PSAs. Let them know to send it to me at culturecall.praise@gmail.com and give me an opportunity to let Lottie Dottie and everybody know what's happening at your church, your organization, with your organization, your sorority, your fraternity. Whether you're an artist getting ready to have a concert or a preacher getting ready to run a revival, we want to let everybody know so that we can put some faces in the place. That's right. We want everybody to come to your event so you'll know that what you're doing is so very, very important to our community. You know why? Because we do it better when we do it together. That's right. No man builds alone. So we are grateful to do that. But send it to me, culturecall.praise@gmail.com. Listen. Also, I want you to follow me on Facebook. All you got to do is follow us, The Culture Call. Press that like button, and there you are, a family member of the village. Yeah, of the CC family. And you can stay in touch with what we're talking about daily and what interesting things that we have online. We're getting ready to do a whole political segment. If you're trying to figure out what's going on in the world of politics, hey, why we know you watch CNN and you watch MSNBC, ABC, CBS, NBC. Yeah, and even some of you watch Fox News. But guess what? We want to put our particular input there because there are some things that are significant to the black community, and I don't want you to miss it at all. So please, ma'am, please, sir, do that. Follow us. And if you've missed a past broadcast, you can go on to Apple Podcasts if you have an Apple phone. Yeah. Somebody said, I tried to do that on an Android. No, sweet precious. It's not going to happen on an Android. You got to have an Apple phone, right? If you got an Apple phone, and we're going to expand that so it doesn't matter what kind of phone or device you have, you can hear all of our archived broadcasts. And so just in case that you've missed something that we've said, you can catch up later in the day, maybe after you get off work or when you're chilling in that bubble bath. Nonetheless, you might be cooking dinner and you want to hear what we talked about that day. Please, ma'am, please, sir. Yeah, make sure that you go to Apple Podcasts to be able to do that. Listen, we want to make sure that you're able to call in. So 205-752-4800. That's 205-752-4800. Call in, or most of you do, you're chatting it up on the app. That's right. When you have the app, you can go to our app feature and you can let me know what you think about the show that day. You can let me know what's happening, what you want me to talk about, or how good or bad of a job that I'm doing, whether you agree or disagree. Yeah, you can do that on the app, on that chat feature. Do that for me. I want to hear from you. Listen, sit back and relax. Grab you some coffee. You know how we do it around here, Maxwell House or Starbucks. That's right. Maybe you're not a coffee drinker. Maybe you like tea. Well, chamomile if you're trying to calm down, and green tea if you need a little caffeine kick and you don't like coffee, but you need a little caffeine kick to make it to lunch. Maybe you don't like coffee or tea. Always. We don't do sodas around these parts. Nope, too much sugar. Go ahead and get you some alkaline or some spring water. Essentia is my favorite. Yeah, definitely you can do that. Get hydrated and let's get into the culture. Family. In Tuscaloosa, Alabama, that's right, and right here, it is voting time, the September 24th. You know that everybody is abuzz talking about the potential property tax increase that is supposed to be beneficial to our Tuscaloosa City Schools and the educational system here. And I think it is imperative that you go and activate your voice, make your voice known. I'm sure you've seen a lot of signs around the city, a lot of text messages. I've been getting a text message over text message, and I'll be glad when the day over so I can block them or say stop. Because they have been blowing up my phone. You hear me? They have definitely been doing that. But we want to make sure that you're able to vote, to go find out where your voting place is, and make sure that you go vote. Not only that, we want to make sure that you are registered to vote. That's how you're going to find out today. It's like today is a trial run. To whether you're registered to vote. I believe that we've had a rash. I saw the news on this morning in southern states, in Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and in Florida. They're have been trying to alter the voting rolls and not even communicating or notifying people that they have been dropped from the rolls, right? And so you're going to vote. Why? Because you think that, hey, I did it in 2020 and 2022, and I do it every election. But this year, seemingly names have been dropped from rolls, right? And I understand that there needs to be a purging of rolls every time there are people who are deceased, and things of that nature, or who move to a different state. I get it. I understand all of that. But they are dropping people, insidiously who have, been a part of the voting, activity for years. And of course, that is a part, can be viewed, better yet, as a part of voter suppression, because they know that they have followed the trends over generations, and they know the way that black and brown people vote. And of course, in the South, these are primarily red states. Really, they should be purple, because most black people live in southern states. But nonetheless, when you dilute the vote by suppressing the vote and dropping people, and then you have to have provisional ballots. A lot of times they don't handle them correctly, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we definitely, you need to make sure that you can vote. You can go to vote.org, VOTE.org, and find out your voting status. Find out your voting status. If you haven't done so, do it right now. Go ahead. And if you have an 18-year-old young adult in your family, go ahead. Someone that has just turned 18, definitely have them to vote. If you turn 18 before a certain amount in October, definitely you'll have a lot opportunity to vote in the 2020 presidential election. But we don't want anyone to be left out. Again, for black folks, our vote is bathed in blood and oppression and suppression. I'm telling you, right here in Selma, Alabama, right here in the city of Tuscaloosa and Birmingham, it cost us something to vote. It costs lives. It costs incarceration and all of those different kinds of things, Culture Call. So please, ma'am, please, sir, do your duty and make sure that you are registered to vote. I'm not going to tell you how to vote. I have my opinions on certain things, and I will definitely share and elucidate you on my opinion. But I'm not being paid by any kind of presidential campaign or any kind of campaign period. But again, I'm a thinking man, and I will give you all kinds of thoughts so that you can ponder and you yourself can do your research. Because voting is not something we should do with feelings. It's definitely something that we need to do with facts. And that's the thing, that I can't vote for liars. Because if I vote a liar in, they're going to keep lying to me, right? So I can't, people who lack integrity. I'm not saying I'm not voting for perfection, but I am voting for people who are at least are attempting to walk integrally as they represent the populace. And I think that's all we can ask anyone to do. Absolutely. None of us would come and run. I mean, the dog catcher, right? Pastors are not perfect. Bishops are not perfect. So when you're trying to make people perfect, you're always going to be disappointed when you're looking for perfection in people as opposed to their purity and integrity, that even if they get it wrong, they attempt to make it right. You see what I'm saying? And so those are the things that we need to be concerned about and need to consider as we are in this election cycle, and every cycle of election or where you have to appoint people. I think it is very important for us to do that. Well, in other news, everybody, we are gearing up for what I still don't understand is a close presidential election. For the life of me, Culture Call, do not understand the proximity in terms of, if we're going to believe polling, why it is so close. And let's just be truthful. Can we be truthful today? Yes, let's do that. And then we're going to get into our subject matter. The truthfulness is simply this, is that there really are no undecided voters. There are voters either on the right or the left that are ashamed to tell people who they're voting for. And that could be the Republican that's going to vote for Democrat, or that could be the Democrat that's going to vote for Republican, or the one that's independent that said they're down the middle, which is not true at all, right? And that independent kind of thing takes a high. They're trying to glean a high moral standard, a high standard of integrity, that it doesn't matter whether they're blue or red. I'm just going to vote for the best candidate who has the best platform. In all of those cases, me personally, I've looked at debates. I read the news. I study it every day, literally every day as I'm going after my PhD. And my part of my assignments is to make sure that I know what is happening in the culture, what is happening in politics. And it could not be more clear to me. Again, I'm not speaking for anyone else, but it couldn't be more clear to me in terms of, who to cast a ballot for. Again, I'm not telling you who to do it for. I'm telling you to pay attention. And there ain't but one side that's trying to make it hard for other people to vote. There ain't but one. And then you got to start asking yourself the question, why? You have to start asking yourself the question, why? And, I invite people on the show to come. Let's talk about that. Let's discuss that. But unfortunately, they don't want to talk to me because, there's a level of deception and manipulation, deceit that is connected to that. And again, you've got to ask why. Why are you going to Nebraska right now to make them or to encourage them, urge them to change the way their vote is counted in the Electoral College? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that now, right? And you got to start asking yourself the question. And you're not doing it in New Hampshire, right? Another state, right? But because that state doesn't favor you, then it doesn't matter. Right. So it doesn't matter in that state, but it matters in this state. Why are you doing that? Why exactly? Why do you not want college students and younger people to vote? Why are you creating all of these 1950s, 60s, 70s poll hurdles for black and brown people? Why are you so worried about what you call illegal aliens, which of course nobody is on the earth illegally. So that's a problem for me. I don't even like that term. But why are you so concerned about immigrants voting and castigating them as illegals? Why are you so worried about that, right? And so I pay attention to where the angst and the anxiety and the worry is from, what side it's coming from. And that informs me on a lot. And it's not because you want election integrity. That's not what it's about, Culture Call. So please do not allow anybody to fool you. It is not because we want it so purely. No, it is because, number one, there are some people you don't want to vote. Number two, you need to understand that one side, one individual is running so that they can control the systems that will keep them from being incarcerated and, better yet, adjudicated. That's only one side. That the other one is running and meeting everybody, and when you're trying to meet everybody, there's always going to be somebody who has more critique than construction. And Brother Jay and I were just talking about that. I said, somebody asked me this past weekend, do you love loyalty or truth? Loyalty or truth? And I told them I want truth. And they were surprised because I'm a pastor, because they think that most pastors want loyalty. And of course, I believe that now, if you're on my staff, on my team, I want loyalty because I'm going to be loyal to you. And it has nothing just simply to do because I'm the leader or because I'm the bishop or the pastor. It's just loyalty. I'm going to be loyal to you. In other words, I'm not going to let anybody disrespect you, and I'm going to stand up for you the same way you would stand up for me. That's just kind of how I roll. Again, I can't answer for anybody else, but that's how I roll. And so they were quite surprised that I didn't choose loyalty over truth. I said, let me tell you why. I said, I will always choose truth, because truth to me, if you tell me the truth, you're loyal. You see, if you tell me the truth, you're loyal to me. Don't let me walk around with something hanging in my nose because you don't want me to be embarrassed. So you're loyal to that, but you won't tell me the truth and just say, hey, L, you might need to take care of that with something that's hanging out your nose, or you got this going on or that going on. If I'm wrong, be truthful enough to tell me that so I won't get up and make a worse mockery of going down the wrong path. If I am wrong, if I'm doing something incorrectly, tell me the truth about it and then help me. Now, what I don't like is people who have, because if you tell the truth, but you have no construction or no way to tell me how to do it better, then I'm gonna side eye you. because I believe that truth comes with the ability to set someone or make someone free and give them appropriate construction. That's what I believe, right? But don't be so loyal to me that you don't tell me the truth about myself, the truth about how I can improve, the truth about things that are going on. That's very important. You see what I'm saying? So it's when we talk about truth, when we talk about integrity, when we talk about what is before us, that's me. That's me. People say, well, and again, I get it because of where I sit. I'm a pastor. You got all yes men around you. No, I don't want all yes men around me. I want people who have varying perspectives. I want people who are around me that believe in the goal and the vision and the mission that we have, but they may have alternative ways and alternative processes and methods to get there. I want to hear everybody. Now, what I won't do is be deviated from where God says we're going, or where the intentions or the trajectory of our path. This is where we need to go. Now, how we get there, as long as it is not causing people to suffer or to strain, as long as it's not, running over anybody or manipulating people to gain or to do anything, X, Y, Z, ABC, then, okay, we all plans are on the table, all ways to get. But the moment that we have to start lying and manipulating and making people feel bad about a certain thing, then now I'm not going to be a part of that. And so I think that's very important, Culture Call, as we look again in this election cycle, and then everything that we do in life. There has to be a level of integrity, And I wanted to do that centering moment because that's the word that we're going to be talking about today, integrity. I wanted to talk a little bit about you being a person who is pure and have alignment with the words you say. In other words, integrity, integral means that I am upstanding with the words that I say. Back in the 80s, we had a hip-hop phrase that says word is bond. That means that what I say is what I do, that there is no distantiation or no separation, disconnect between the words that I say and the person that I am. And we're in a culture right now, what we're finding out is that people will say one thing and then they will do another, right? We just had my 28th pastor's anniversary at the church, and it was time for my wife's and our remarks. And everybody all day, all weekend was saying, Pastor, we love you. We with you. X, Y, Z, ABC. You're a man. You're a great leader. All this. And as humble as I was, when I stood up to give my remarks, I said to the people, well, listen to me. Listen, I'm going to hold you at your word the same way you hold me at my word. Can we do that for this 29th year? I want to hold you to your word as you hold me to my word. We are both going to operate in integrity. Don't tell me that I'm XYZ and don't show up. Don't tell me that I'm XYZ and then talk about me behind my back. Don't tell me that I'm XYZ and then, your faithfulness is not on record, or you do something that is totally contradictory to who you are or who God says you are, what we've been teaching, XYZ, ABC. The same way you expect me to show up, the same way you expect me to study, the same way the kind of man you expect, the same way you expect me to treat my wife and my children is the same thing I want to be able to expect from you, because it's called integrity. Integrity doesn't just work one way. And I think that's one of the problem, Culture Call, that we're having not only in the country, but in the state, in the city, in our families, on our jobs, is that, hey, if you can't, you can't, right? It's better that you say no and mean no than for you to say yes and then act no. Right? And so let your yay be yay and your nay be nay, because you can't say yes all the time. But at least say no, right? Then I know what to expect. But don't tell me yes and then you live no. You see what I'm saying, Coach? Don't say yes and live no. That lacks integrity, right? Don't say that you are for America, but you love Russia and China so much that you'll do their bidding, that you'll allow them to interfere in our elections, and then blame it on somebody else. Don't do that. No, that's not integrity, right? Don't tell me this and then you do this. Don't tell me I need this kind of money and then when I give you the money, you use the money for something that you didn't tell me you were going to use it for. That's not integrity. You know, on our offering envelopes at church, we especially when we are dealing with non-restricted funds, because we have restricted funds and non-restricted funds, and you give on the bottom of that envelope, it says the board of directors, we appreciate your giving, but when we have our board meeting, we decide where this money needs to be directed to, right? And so even though you may have given for new pews, all the air conditions went out. So do you want to sit in church and it be hot in some new pews? Or do you want us to make the decision to fix the air conditioner and we might sit on these bad pews for another month or so? Yeah, that's what is called integrity. Right. And no, don't come back. Well, you said we're going to get new pews with new chairs and X, Y, Z. Y'all didn't do right with the money. Oh, no. No. On the envelope, it says, as the board of trustees, we owe it to our integrity to upkeep the facility, to make sure that as best we can with the resources that we have, we can redirect them in the way that is most needed. Right? That's not a lack of integrity. That was you not reading the fine print. That's something totally different. And that's how, even in the music industry, that's how they get a lot of artists. That's how they get a lot of people. They don't read the fine print. Read the fine print of your insurance policies. Read the fine print before you sign. Before you do your next mortgage or you sign your next lease, read the fine print, because that's where people get snafu'd. That's where people get trapped in the fine print, so that when you accuse them of not being people who are integral to the process, right? They can say, well, did you read the fine print? Well, no, I didn't read the fine print. Well, then the case is over. You have no case. There's no adjudication that needs to be made. You just didn't do your due diligence. And so integrity means, in my circle, I can trust everybody in that circle, right? I can trust their love. I can trust their loyalty. I can trust that they will push back when it needs to be pushed back. I can trust that they'll have their opinions about a matter, right? I can trust that they're going to, that I can tell them if I see something incorrect, and they won't get offended, and they can tell me, and we still maintain a valued relationship. It's called integrity. And I think that is very necessary in community as we build black communities. Who we are electing, who's over our schools, our doctors, our children. Yes, our pastors, our deacons. We need to operate with a level of integrity so that we can build, because you cannot build and you cannot advance without a level of integrity being utilized by everyone. If you're going to be a part of an organization, and that doesn't matter, that Kappa Alpha Psi, Omega Psi Phi, aka Phi Beta Sigma, Delta Sigma Theta, doesn't matter. The Order of Eastern Stars, doesn't matter what it is. Masonic Lodge, whatever it is, when you, watch this, when you say you're going to be a part, your integrity says, I'm going to be a part. That means I'm going to pay my dues. That means I'm going to show up to the meetings as best I can when time allows. I'm going to be able to, whatever they support, I support their mission. I support their vision, their direction, right? That, yeah, I don't have to support I don't have to agree with everybody that holds the office. But if they hold the office, me being a part of that organization says that I am a person of integrity, and I am going to be there to support. Absolutely. So that's what we're going to be talking about right here on the Culture Call. Yeah, this morning. Yeah, integrity. Yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about. So I need you to keep it right here. Praise 93.3 FM 790 WTSK. This is the Culture Call with yours truly, L. Spencer Smith. Keep it locked right here.
This is the world premiere.
And we are back right here on the Culture Call, and we're having a great morning, a great kickoff. Listen, that was a great centering moment talking about integrity. That's right. Let's say it all together. Integrity. Right. And see, here's the deal. We want other people to be integral. But I want us to measure our own personal integrity to the things that we say that we care about and that we support, that we are a part of. And I think it is very important for us to do that. Why? Because if we don't do that, I think we are sorely missing out on something that is vital to our character development as people, right? And again, I don't want to come across as preachy this morning, but I just do want to teach you a little bit. I want to give you a little doctrine. You know, one of the writers of the Psalm says, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. That's what the psalmist says. And that's the scripture of integrity. That is a scripture of integrity, right? And it is, watch this, the integrity is about a part of how you use I am. I am biblically, spiritually, from a very existential understanding, a very essence of who we are. Divine understanding means that you never use the phrase or the verb I am if that's not what you're going to be, right? I am is a form of the verb or a more phrased form of the verb be, right? And so when I say I am coming or I am going to do or I am not going to do, then it says something about who I am on the inside, right? Not just the words of my mouth, but the intentions and the motivations and the trajectory of my heart is moving in that direction. That's important that if we say that, if you say, I am a doctor, then we can back up now and ought to be able to look at your life to see what you know about medicine, how connected and how entrenched and entranced are you in the medical field, right? And so that's very important, right? When you say, I am a lawyer, then our expectation is that we ought to be able to see you function in law, in jurisprudence, knowing relatively something about the law and not trying to utilize the law to hurt but to help, right? Whether you are a prosecutor or a defense attorney, you are to help, right? That's very, very important. And so when you use I am or I'm whatever, I'm coming, then I'm going to turn the light on for you. I'm going to cook for you. I'm going to clean up my guest room for you. I'm going to clean up my house for you because I am, responding to your I am. You said I am coming. And so I am preparing for your coming, right? The disappointment is that I've waited all night and I waited all day and you don't arrive. And not only do you not arrive, you don't call to tell me that your I am has changed. Well, that is a lack of integrity. You let me respond to what you said you be or what you were going to be, and you never came back and corrected it, right? I know many times when I'm an artist or a pastor or whatever, I go into the studio and I sing a note and I say that I am an artist, not just a singer, but I'm an artist. And I listen to the playback in the studio. I was like, that note is wrong. And some people will say, well, they have certain software, technologies that can fix it, that they're like, oh, yeah, I'm going to leave that wrong and I'm just going to let it fix it. But no, I'm going to have to sing this song live. So what I would tell them, unless the producer say, no, we got it, don't even worry about it. But they'll say, and I'm fussing with the producer. No, I can do it better. Unless my voice is extremely tired or it's really late in the evening, then I will yield to the producer. But I'll be like, no, let me get back in the booth and correct it. You know why? Because I'm an artist. I'm not just a singer. And an artist will get it right. A singer will make sure that it is done right. A skilled singer. I can hit that note. Can you hit it, L? Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Let me adjust my mouth. Let me adjust my air, my tone, and I'm going to hit it right dead center of that note. You know why? Because I want to be a person of integrity so that when I sing it live, because when you hear it on the record, you know, when you hit a record, you're going to be expecting one thing. And then when you hear me live, you can be like, oh, who's singing on the record? Because that couldn't have been you. Right? And I do that as integrity, as an issue of integrity. If I'm teaching something in church and then I see I got a word wrong, I got a verse wrong, I define the word wrong in the Hebrew or the Greek or something else, and I do more study and I find out that what you said was not correct, I'll go back and say, hey, I taught y'all something. I said something that was not correct. Let's update our information. My apologies. You know, I dug a little bit deeper into this thing, and here is what it really means. That doesn't take anything away from me as the pastor, as the leader, or as a qualified, theologian. It just means that I am human. It just means that I've done my study. I've dug a little deeper, and I'm not afraid to say that I'm wrong so that I can get it right. That's what is called integrity, right? And so sometimes we don't understand that we mess up our integrity because we say things or we do things, we use I am for a situational, or it's for that moment because I'm trying to get somebody off of me, or I'm trying to get something from somebody, or I'm trying to, and when you do that, that's manipulation. Ma'am, sir, boys, girls, that's manipulation. When you say this is what I am to somebody and so that you can get something from them, but that's really not who you are, you know, lying on your resume. Right? And that's manipulation. But that's just the game. That's the name of the game. Oh, no. Listen, we're not talking about the game today. We're not talking about the game today. No, absolutely not. You know, this is something that I'm like, yo, I thought you told me XYZ. I thought you told me you could cook. I thought but tasting this, you can't cook. No, God is not pleased. And neither is your mama, your grandmama, or your daddy, whoever, granddaddy, whoever. You couldn't have learned this from them because I ate their food. This, not that. You know, I'm not, listen, because I'm not obligated. Now, here's me, y'all. Ooh, L, you so mean. No, I'm not. I'm just not obligated to lie to you. I'm not. I am not. You know, now I've learned through the years to tone it down. I've learned the years to use my words, my language, you know, as my father and my mother taught me that you ain't got to be so harsh and so rough to say X, Y, Z, or you ain't got to do X. You know, you can season your words with grace. Come on, scripture. You can season your words with a little Lawry's so that the person that what you're saying, even if you got to correct them or even if you got to tell them something that maybe might be a little bit hard to hear, you can say in a way that it is easier to receive. But, you know, because I've always think, well, I got to maintain my integrity. I've got to do X, Y, Z, A, B, C, right? And, you know, don't let you come say that, you know, people go, well, they said, you said, oh, no, absolutely not. Nope. We got to get these two people together. We got to call them. I got to call them now. And you be on the other line because I got to get this straight. Now, did you tell them I said so-and-so? Well, no, I didn't. Well, yes, you did. You did say Bishop said so. You did say L said so. I said, wait a minute, hold it. No, that ain't what I said. But look, listen, until you can speak with truth, keep my name, church, out your mouth. Keep my name out your mouth if you're not going to speak with integrity. It's important for you to do that. And so one of the things that I think is very important, that it begins, we have to make it a safe space to be truthful, a safe space to be integral. Because you know that there are some people that when you are functioning in integrity and in truth, that they can't handle that. They go off the deep end, they get offended, you know, they get, you know, they start acting really funny, and because you didn't side with them. You know, I had an individual that wanted me to adjudicate something, and I said, you know, I know, and they, the reason why you called me to adjudicate it is because you knew I was a person of integrity, but they got mad when I was a person of integrity. They got upset. And I'm like, yo, but that's why you called me. It's not what you think it is. It's not what you heard. That's not what happened, right? And so you have people who want to use your integrity to side with them, but integrity doesn't take sides. Truth doesn't take sides. And so I think it is important, I think it is important that if we are really, really, really going to, how shall I say, really going to make certain that we do the due diligence of community, right? Because number one, no man lives alone. No man can survive alone. No man is an island. No man stands alone. None of that. That we're all going to have to function with somebody, some peoples, right? Whether that's family, coworkers, church members, etc., right? When we're a part of organizations, we have to learn how to coexist. And you got to learn how to coexist with people walking in integrity, telling you the truth, whether you agree with them or not, but not falling out because they don't agree with you, right? When you are that kid that has to always be agreed with, or else you take your you take your you take your ball off the playground and you run away with it. Well, guess what? Guess what? It is what it is now. Nobody wants to play with you. I don't want to play with folks that when they're losing, that you take your ball, I'm going home. We did a whole lot of that, and we had a young man, the kid on our street, that they loved to play, but when they were losing, listen, the game was going to shut down to the point to when they would always come over to the house and say, hey, let's play so-and-so. We got to the place now, well, I don't want to play with you. Why not? Because every time you lose, you get mad. I know I ain't going to get mad. No. You've done this too many times. We already know. We already know what you're going to do. So, yeah, you're going to be mad. We all playing. It's kickball. We are not getting the trophy. We ain't nobody writing us no check. We're not getting a savings bond. You know what I'm saying? But you mad out here in these streets. You upset, and now you taking your ball. Now none of us can play because you mad. And it's like that in organizations. Don't be that individual. Dude, listen, do you hear me? Don't be upset when you are a part of something. And in order to function with integrity, you're going to have to allow people to tell you the truth. And you got to learn to hear the truth as well, period. You see, that there's got to be tables of agreement that you are willing to sit at, even when there is disagreement among the table that has agreed to sit together. Right. Because everybody ain't got to see it your way. Everybody does not have to see it your way. Come on, say it out your mouth. Everybody ain't got to see it my way. No, you don't have to. You don't have to see it my way. I don't have to see it your way in order for us to coexist. I think sometimes, unless the arrangement or the connection was always, there was always a little lack of integrity. It was built on manipulation, to deception, something that was wicked and evil, that was perverted, was not on the up and up. See, now when you start out like that, when the organization is founded upon that, guess what? Then you get what you get. You're going to get what you get. And here is the reality. Here is the reality. The reality is simply this, that if you're going to be a part, and if you're going to be a part of your neighborhood, if you're going to be a part of your church, if you're going to be a part of your marriage, sir, don't be upset when she says, honey, I think you could have done that a different way, or maybe we do it a different way. I'm the man. No. That's not what a marriage is. A marriage is not for an insecure male to wait for somebody that's always going to be a yes, sir, whatever you like, sir. This is not Coming to America. Whatever you like, sir. Bark like a dog. That is not what you is. That is not what marriage is for. No. Marriage is, okay, babe, I think we need to do this a different way. Or maybe let's try a different way. Or, back and forth, until we come to a place where we both can live with the agreement that we made. It's not for her to obey. No, that's for children. That children obey your parents. My wife is not my child, so she doesn't have to obey me. She does have to love. She has to honor. She has to respect me, but she doesn't have to obey me. She doesn't, because she's not my child. Now, my children have to obey me for this is right in the Lord, right? As long as they remain children. You see what I'm saying? And then when they get out on their own or they get to a level of agency where they can make their own decisions, then they do what they do. But guess what? You can't come to me once you made your decision and wanted me to bail you out of a decision that you didn't even ask me to be a part of. You see? So it's a different kind of thing. But you have to be willing to what I don't want to be. One of the things I love about my wife is that she walks in a level of distinctive integrity. I love it. Tell me, even if it rubs me the wrong way. Now, you can tell me in a way that we no longer fussing about, we no longer dealing with the issue at hand, but your tone and how you said, no, there's a way you talk to me, but that ain't got nothing to do with the integrity of what you say, right? Yeah, babe, I don't think that tie goes with that. But this is my favorite tie. Yeah, but it don't go with that suit, though. Well, now, if I decide to wear it anyhow, okay, that's on me, right? But if I'm wise, I'm going to let her function in my integrity. She didn't say she didn't love me. She didn't say she didn't love the suit. She didn't say she didn't love the tie. She just said that what I paired it with don't work. See, I think a lot of times we hear what we want to hear out of the space of offense. And offense oftentimes make people walk away from you because they can't live in their integrity. They can't live telling you what their perspective of the truth. Now, you don't have to agree with it. You're like, okay, well, I like this suit. I don't like that color. Okay, no problem. It's my suit. I bought it. I like it. Let's keep it moving. I like that blue dress you had on last week. But guess what? Listen, I ain't going to take away my love from you. Not at all. See, we don't know how to create and stratify conversations and learn how to be what we need to be for each other in the way we need to be it because we are afraid of integrity. And I want to challenge you today, Culture Call family, that you have to grow up to walk in integrity. This whole election cycle is about integrity. That's what it is. We're not going to always agree on policy. It's integrity. And that's what I tell the church. That's what I tell the evangelical church. That's what I tell. It's about integrity. You only doing that because they agree with certain things you agree with. But who is the person at its core? Are they a person of integrity? And that is what makes the difference. Listen, I need you to keep it right here. Get you some water or something to drink. Get you a little nab. Keep it right here on the Culture Call with yours truly, L. Spencer Smith. We'll be right back.
This is the world premiere.
And we are back. It's the top of the hour, 11 a.m. and some change right here on the Culture Call with yours truly, L. Spencer Smith. Praise 93.3 FM 790 WTSK, and we are having a great day already. Want to welcome all of our listeners to our second hour. Yeah, maybe you wasn't able to catch the first hour, and you're here at the 11 o'clock. Welcome, ma'am. Welcome, sir. So glad to have your ear and your heart, your mind, listening to the Culture Call today. Listen, want to always encourage you to, send me in those public service announcements and events at culturecall.praise@gmail.com. And we want to let everybody know what's happening in your neck of the woods. Also want to remind you that today is voting day. So make sure that you find your precinct or your polling place where you can cast your vote. You know, today is very important in the city of Tuscaloosa about the ad valorem tax that benefits the educational system, Tuscaloosa City Schools. And so we want to definitely make your voice heard. There are a whole lot of people for it, a whole lot of people against it. And so your voice needs to be heard. Definitely not going to tell you what to do. I'm just going to say, hey, make sure your voice is heard. This will be the precursor for you to finding out whether you are registered or on the rolls to vote in November. As I did in the first hour, I will do it again now, and that is to remind you, ma'am, sir, hey, boy, young man, young girl, that's better yet. Young man, young lady, that's better. Yeah, go ahead and make sure you check vote.org. And it will lead you to be able, it doesn't take a long time. It might take you at max 5 minutes. depending on what your connection is. But vote.org will let you know exactly what your voting status is. Make sure you do that before October. I believe online registration is over then. And so for your convenience, make sure you do that. Vote.org, VOTE.org. Check it out to make sure that you are a vital, verified part of the election cycle that is here, because now you can vote, make your voice heard. Okay, good deal. Listen, want you to pay attention to the cash codes at the top of every hour. You could win a whole lot of money. Make sure that you pay attention to that as well. Listen, we started a conversation, and I wanted to continue with it today because I think it's important about integrity. And you know, I want us to really on this show focus on the whole idea that integrity speaks a lot about who we are as individuals, humans, right? That my integrity doesn't make you integral. That your integrity doesn't make me integral. That integrity is indeed one of those things, one of those tubs that has to sit on its own bottom. Like my grandmama used to tell me, every tub got to sit on its own bottom, right? You're going to have to be integral for yourself and for the community of relationships that you come in contact with every day in your life. And it's important for you to do that. And a part of that, integrity requires a level of responsibility with again, what we say we are a part of, who we say we are, what we say we are a part of, and how we communicate that, how we live that out in the face of everyday life, right? That, you know, in the realm in which I live, and most of you know, as pastor, preacher, artist, student, whatever, I have to function with a level of integrity so that people will follow my leadership, right? And my thing is, if you don't follow me, it won't be because I'm not a person of integrity. You might have you might have a disagreement over what I said or how, how it made you feel. You didn't agree with what I said, but it will never be because, of integrity. And that is number one, to the grace of God, because nobody is perfect. But every day I try my heart, with all that is in me, my darndest, if I can say it like that, to be a man of his word. I tried, desperately to do that. Not that I'm being greeted by anybody, but just because it just alleviates a whole lot of pressure for you doing this, that, the other. And integrity is a skill and I say skill, that has to be learned, right? That I can say, as a moment of transparency and honesty, that I was not always the man of integrity that I am right now. Age, experience, wisdom, knowledge, study, prayer, those things grew me up to put away the childish things of manipulation and all those other kinds of things that one could use, right? That's very important, that you grow up to be that. So who I am when I was in my teenage years was not who I was in my 20s, my mid-20s, when I started pastoring, in my 30s, because, I kept hearing, my granddaddy said, don't be that. Y'all thought I was going to be a great revelation, but it is. Don't be that individual, right? And I'm grateful for all of the lessons and all of the things that I was able to be taught by him, sitting, listening, and probably in too much of adult conversations that I probably shouldn't have been a part of. But he allowed me to be a part of. And then he says, don't do that. Don't be that person. Don't do it like that. Son, if you're going to do this, here's how you do it. Right? And to the glory of God, the grace of God, and to the grounding of my granddad, and of course my parents as well, but definitely my granddad, telling me that, from the jump, that when I was a young preacher, when I first called him, I can see it like it was yesterday. But when I first told him that I was called to preach, He sat me down in the living room in his house, and he said, what did God tell you to say? Well, how did he call you? What did he say? He said, because with every preacher, it's not just a call. He puts something in your mouth, and you got to say it. That's what. But if you forget anything anything that he tells you to do, if you can't forget how he called you, because that's what drew you closer to him. Call means come, right? Not call don't mean went. Call means come until you are sent, right? But you tell your pastor, I'm called. That's not them to assign you next week to preach. No, that's for you to come to get trained. Come for you to learn clarity. Come for you to learn that people don't judge you like they even judge themselves. They hold you to a higher standard than they even do for themselves, right? So that means you're going to have to learn as a young preacher to walk in integrity. And, of course, I said, well, he called me from Romans 12, 1 and 2. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your body as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto God, which are reasonable services. And then verse 2, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove that which is that good, acceptable, and perfect will of God. I remember that day like it was yesterday. If there's no other message I can preach, it's going to be Romans 12, 1 and 2. Your boy can throw down on that. That's my text. Because I remember that's the foundation of what I do everything for, what I speak from, right? And so he early on taught me about integrity and understanding that people are going to judge you differently. People ought to judge leaders to a high level of integrity, but the people who are judging ought to be people of integrity as well, right? Because you can't tell me what I did and did not do, and you don't ever show up. You ain't never there. You can't tell me what I said and you were in the room, right? That's part of my issue with even virtual church, that COVID brought on a technology, and, it's good. It's good because it allows you to reach people who are not in the house and not in your church. But it's bad because it allows you to reach people that are not in your house. But some people have used those things to take clips and to take 30 seconds and to ruin other people's career, names, character for a clip, right? And they know people will believe a lie much quicker than they would ever believe the truth. You know what I'm saying, Coach Cole? Absolutely. And so that's part of the thing. And so he taught me 2 principles about integrity that I'm going to share with you today. You ready? You got a pen? You got a paper? Okay, write this down. That integrity, when you say I'm a person of integrity, we get to measure your, number 1, involvement. Your involvement. How you're a person of integrity. How involved are you? Right? Integrity is not just a self-attributing mechanism whereby, I'm integritous or I'm integral, right? And we don't see, we have no performance. We have no demonstration of said integrity, right? And so that's very important for us to understand, right? That we've got to have a level of measured integrity, right? What is your involvement? If you say that you are a person of integrity and you're married, what is your involvement with your marriage? What is your involvement with your husband, with your wife, right? With your children, if you have any, What is your level of involvement? If you say that you belong to a church, what's your level of involvement? Do you only go on Sundays? And then you be like, may the Lord watch between me and thee while we ask one from another. In Jesus' name, amen. And then you fly to your car? Well, your name might be in a roll, but you're not a church member. Huh? You're not a church member. Because being a church member, integrity says, first of all, being a member of a church means that you are a part of that faith community. That means it requires fellowship. I'm going to be involved in something, making something, a ministry better, right? That means I'm going to sing in the choir. I'm going to be a part of the outreach. I'm going to be a part of marketing my church. I'm going to be a part of the prayer team. I'm going to be a part of the praise team. Some choir, usher ministry. Yes, you are not a member of that church if integrity does not lead you to what? Get involved. Right? You know, so you so ready to get to that. I'm gonna get in my car because, you know, people miss it. But then why would you want to be a part of anything where you can say at the end of a service that you going home because the people miss it? But that ain't the church you belong. That ain't the church you're supposed to belong to. Let's try this again. Let's try this again. That if you so quick to go home, and you ain't never standing up, you ain't never meeting nobody, your kids don't know other people's kids, you're not connected with other marriages, other people in the ministry to talk about, you know, what we can do better for our community, for our church, how we can serve better, XYZ, what the word was. If that's not you, if you just getting out quick, then you're not a member. Your name on the roll, but you're not a member because you're not involved in the fellowship. Fellowship is the key thing about the church. The key things. There are 4 key things, and I'm not going to deal with that, but 4 key things that make up a church. And fellowship, koinonia, is one of them. And so if you rushing to go home and you're not a part of anything, then you're not a person of integrity with regards to your church family if you are not involved. Same with your fraternity, your sorority, your Masonic order, whether you're part of the Jack and Jill, the Lynx, the Rotary Club. Anytime you are a part of something, your integrity says, I have a level of what? Involvement. That if you're going to use it on your resume, right, you ought to have a level of involvement where you've made that thing better, that you've advanced it or pushed it forward. You see? And that was one of the rich lessons. If you say you're going to be this, then be involved. If you're going to be a member of that church, be involved. Right? And so the church that I was, not the church that I grew up in, the church that I grew up in, I was always involved. And it was, I don't think it was a matter of integrity. It was a matter of get your behind out of the bed and you going to church today and you're going to be a part of something. Right. And then I got a hold of music really young. And then I just became a part and just involved in church, that's just what I did. And I think that's very important. And when I grew up and around about 16, 17, I became a member of another church in Charleston, which is about maybe an hour and 15 minutes away from where I lived. Every time the church was open, my granddaddy said, well, if you're going to be a part of that, you don't want to join that church, then you got your integrity says you're going to be involved. So I would drive, my sister and we would drive about an hour and 15 minutes one way to church every service, all of the time. Choir rehearsal, musician rehearsal. Integrity means involvement. Didn't complain because, I was involved in what I wanted to be a part of. And I wanted to see what I was, the thing that I was a part of, the church or the ministry that I was a part of. I wanted to advance and I wanted to use everything that I had to advance the church that I was a part of. I'm a member of Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity. And, you pay your debt, your dues and your pledges on all the levels and all those different kinds of things. You pay your money. But not only that, you get involved. Now, sometimes I can't because it's on Sundays. Our meeting's on Sundays and I preach on Sundays and I've been getting my education. But I let them know, I'm not just over here playing hooky because they know me to be an involved member. I'm getting my education. Achievement in every field of human endeavor. Yes, I'm doing that now. That's what I'm doing. And I'm going to bring back this PhD and then okay, cool. Right. Okay, no, cool. We got guys, we can handle that. No problem. Hey, but integrity, that's what it means to be involved. Involved. You got to be involved. So he taught me that integrity means involvement. But here's the next thing that integrity means. It means investment. Okay, did y'all wrote that down? Write that down. First thing integrity means, number 1, involvement. But number 2, investment. What are you doing to ensure the longevity, and the advancement of that particular thing that you're a part of. Because again, it all speaks to who you are. Because that's what integrity is. Words in my mouth, meditation in my heart. Integrity. Investment. You just heard me say dues. If it's church, it's tithes, it's the vision fund and all those different kinds of things. If it's, if it's your marriage, you got to pay your bills. You go out on vacations, you go on dates. Involvement, investment. How are you invested? How are you invested? How? Because integrity can be measured, right? Integrity can be measured. Your level of investment, not just monetary, but personal investment. Involvement is investment. Your presence is investment, right? And so, it's here it is. And let me show you probably something we don't ever think about, but let me show you what I mean, right? Let me show you. What I mean is this. Say you cook the dinner and you spent all day cooking dinner. And then when you cook the dinner and it's complete, nobody shows up. Your kids went to the neighborhood, their friends in the neighborhood, they ate there. Your spouse didn't show up because they had work late, or they went out, after work with some coworkers, right? You done slaved in this kitchen all afternoon after you got off from work and you tired too, and nobody ate. Well, you know what? Watch this. Their lack of presence is a lack of investment, because what they just said is, and then if you didn't cook, they got an attitude. You see, there's a problem. There's an integrity issue somewhere, right? Because first of all, you didn't tell me you were going. I wouldn't have done all this if I didn't think you were going to show up. Presence is investment. Let me say that again. Presence is investment. Now, I'm going to give all the pastors my cash app when I say this. You can't expect Reb to preach a good word, a fresh word every Sunday, and you don't show up but twice. Unless you got church only twice a Sunday or twice a month, if they got church every week and you ain't got to work, why you ain't there if you say you're a part? How do you think it feels for Reb to get up, your pastor to get up to preach to a half-empty church? Right? How does no, your presence is investment. That feels terrible. Let me say it again, because maybe I have to say this for the back folks. That feels terrible. When you've done all that and you doing all, and then you come in and name about 15 people, 30, 50 people, and half the church is empty. What? But now all of y'all done showed up at a church meeting when we doing some other kind of business. Now you got all the cousins at the boonies who don't ever come to church, who don't ever pay any money. No, that's not integrity. Folks, I don't care how you slice it. That's not integrity. That's not. I love it when some of the men in my church, they'll call and say, well, Pastor, we're not going to be here because I got to work late, blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, I'm going to catch it online or blah, blah, blah. That it's okay. But listen, I do expect presence. Because, listen, if you are a person of integrity, then you're going to do something. Presence, finances, talents, treasure, your gift, your know-how makes that thing better. You're an alto singing loud in the audience. Why? Get in the choir. Huh? You singing a song anyway. I don't understand. People struggle with integrity because integrity puts you in a place to where you must answer for your behavior. That, again, word is bond. If I'm going to be a part of this. Then you ain't going to have to look for me. If I tell you I'm going to be a part, if I got a scheduled dispute, you're going to find out before. You're going to find out before. Let me try it again. I said, you're going to find out before the event. You're not going to be sitting there looking for me. L, where you at? Oh man, I forgot to tell you. No, we're not going to do that. That's not integrity. No matter how good, no matter how much I mean it in my heart, oh man, I forgot. No, that's not good integrity. Because now you left me with no choices. You left that individual with no choices. They were expecting you to help. And so that's important. As we move forward, you got to understand that your integrity matters. One of the great disappointing things to a lot of children is when their parents don't function with a level of integrity, involvement, and investment. That they're on the band, but you ain't never been to a game to see them play. Or you've never been to a PTA meeting. You've never been to a football game to watch them run. You never attend a spelling bee to see them perform. And they get used to that. Then it doesn't matter. It stops mattering. Watch this. Your presence, because of a lack of integrity, your presence doesn't matter anymore. And then they go out and find different friends to hang out with. Yeah, not because they're growing up, but because you've taught them not to depend on your word. You say you're going to do something, and you don't do it. Listen, if you say you're going to take them to the movies, right? If they get an A+ or they get a B, whatever, and you say we're going to go to the movies, you get this grade, they come on with that grade, and then you find a reason why you not going to take them, or you can't take them, or you don't, that affects your integrity. That you're teaching them to learn how not to trust your word. Absolutely. That's what you're teaching them. That's what you're teaching them. You're teaching them how to say, okay, that's what they said, but they don't mean it. Slowly but surely, you're lacking integrity in their eyes, Coach Call. Integrity is a standard that we do have to. The price of it is involvement. It is investment. It is doing your best to shape and shift your schedule so that you can honor your word. Absolutely. So that you can honor your word. That's what integrity means. And there's no way around it. Right? And listen, and this is not castigating or judging anybody harshly, but I'm just trying to tell you the truth and trying to help you. That a lot of times when a person of integrity will say, hey, no, you're not going to talk to me like that. You're not going to speak to me like that. I know you're my boss, but can I say this? I'm also a human being. And I recognize your authority. But what you ain't going to do is talk to me like that. No, we're not doing that. I know you're my supervisor, but my integrity won't allow you to think that you okay. So that when you come into my presence, I know that I'm under you, but here's how you're going to talk to me. Here's how you're going to speak to me. Here's how you're going to treat me. Babe, I know you say you love me, but you're not. My integrity, who I am to myself and within myself, will not allow you to speak to me in that way. Watch your tone. Watch it. And no, there's a better way to say it. There's a better way to conduct it. You see what I'm saying? That's integrity. How you cause other people to handle you. That's integrity. What we ain't gonna do is that. Yeah, you're not gonna do. No, we not doing that. No, ma'am. No, sir. We are not doing that. Integrity. It's making sure that your kids can always be comfortable coming talking to you because they know you are a person of your word. They know that if they ask you for advice, you're going to not only tell them, but you're going to demonstrate it. And maybe, Just maybe. That's why a lot of people don't like integrity. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's why people have an issue with integrity, because there is a benchmark there. There is a standard there. And yes, in our communities, you know, we knew who the liars were, the gossip mongers, and we knew the people who had integrity. There was a man growing up in our neighborhood, Reverend Joshua Prello. He was one of my teachers in high school. And again, he was a pastor. We knew in the community that he was a man of high integrity. We knew it. We saw the way he treated his family. We saw the way he was one of the only people that if my parents were not around, he could spank us. Or he would say we did something and they would believe it automatically because they knew he was a man of integrity. Kindest man, but didn't play no junk. Soft-spoken, but didn't play at all. And this that's something that's very important. Very important. Can people rely on you to be a person of integrity, a person of involvement? Yes, and a person of investment. Or are you just on a roll? Are you just a part of an organization to wear the letters and you have no service? You have no fellowship. You have no camaraderie, right? That's lacking integrity. That's important. Are you the kind of person that will even when you can't, you'll say that you can't? You remember I told you that no is an integral word as well. No, I'm not going to be able to do that, y'all. That's bad for me. My schedule can't accommodate that right now. I promised my kids I would do something else. I told my wife that I'd take her to Birmingham, take her to Atlanta. No, I told these people that I'm going to come to their wedding. Man, I would love to be at that picnic because I know it's going to be a good time, but I already promised XYZ. That's integrity. I'm not going to be able to do it because I made other promises. I got other obligations. And I don't want to be a man that's not a man of his word. Listen, this is the Culture Call. I'm telling y'all, we talking about integrity today. Yeah, right here on Praise 93.3, 790 WTSK. I need you to keep it right here. I see the runway. We got a little bit more to go.
This is a world premiere.
And we are back right here on the Culture Call with yours truly, L. Spencer Smith. Praise 93.3 FM, 790 WTSK. Listen, I love saying that every day. Absolutely. You mean so very much to me. And we're having a great conversation today about integrity. And I am hoping and praying that what we're saying and what we're sharing is stimulating you to think about who you are in the midst of all of the discourse that's coming along right now. Again, as I said at the top of the show, we're not necessarily looking for a perfection. We don't vote for perfection. We don't hire perfection. Perfection is not in the boardroom. Perfection is not in the pulpit. Perfection is not even in the church pews. And although we judge each other by the measures of perfection, I don't think that's what that God requires. I don't think so, right? He perfects. And that word perfection in the scripture doesn't mean that you don't get anything wrong. It simply means that he matures us. He brings us to a place of wholeness, a place of maturity. I think that's what it means. Not I think, I know that's what it means. And so I think when we measure ourselves by integrity, if you hear the word integrity and think perfection, yeah, that's not what it is. Integrity is being able to align with yourself and being able to see yourself in the truth of who you are. I think that is very important. And everybody needs to understand that. Integrity doesn't mean that you're not going to get anything right or someday you don't tell you don't tell a fib, a lie trying to get out of something because nobody's perfect. But integrity doesn't mean that when somebody doesn't look good in something, you just say, "Oh, child, you ugly," to maintain your integrity. No, that's not what it means. You know, because we've all done it. Oh no, that's good. You look nice in that. We've all done it. We've all bended the integrity, right? And so that other individual will feel valued and loved. We've all done it. Preachers and pastors alike. We get up at funerals and lie about the person that's laying before us. We didn't know they were no good member. We know that they carried hell everywhere they went, that they should have had a pitchfork and a pointed tail and two horns in their head. We know that, but we don't say that. We know that some of the folks were in the street shooting up folks, and unfortunately they just got caught on the wrong day and now they're gone. We know that. We know that. And so one of the things that I think that, as people, as individuals, integrity does not mean perfection. But here's what it does mean. Yeah. Integrity means that even in those moments, it is undergirded by love. Now, love doesn't mean that you lie to me, because if they say, well, be honest with me, don't, okay, that means they already know something. So my thing is what you think about it. You ask me how it looks, how you think it looks, because you would have never asked me if you were having doubts within yourself, See, that's what I do before I lie. I'll be like, well, what you think? Are you comfortable in it? Yeah. Yeah, but I'm comfortable in it. Okay, but listen, then guess what? You look good in it. If you're comfortable in it, that you look good in it. Make it work. You saw what I did? I put it right back on them. So I wouldn't have to lie and say, oh, you gorgeous. Oh, you gorgeous. No, because what we ain't going to do is that. No, but yeah, that's the way we do things. We handle each other with care. That's what really integrity means as well. That there's a level of intimacy that partners with integrity. Yes, involvement. Yes, investment. But also, yes, intimacy. There's a level of intimation there that causes us to love people, to care, to adjust ourselves so we are not brutal with our integrity, that we are not, seemed as harsh. Now, there are certain times when my integrity says, oh, absolutely not X, Y, Z. But when it's going to ruin an individual's life, then what say you about it? When it's going to hurt somebody's feelings, in terms of their being, and that's what that maturity comes in. Because I know this young lady didn't come to ask me, did I like her hair? What you think about it? Child, I know I can't do that. Yeah, you wearing it. You say, I ain't lied yet. You wearing that hair, you making it work for you. You say, I didn't lie. I didn't lie yet. No. I didn't say, oh, this is gorgeous. Oh, no, I didn't do all that, because that's not integrity. But integrity is like, oh my, that thing is working for you. Listen, and I saw how you were just walking around looking like you was it. Yeah, go ahead on. Listen, it's your hair. You wear that stuff. Go ahead, girl. You see what I just did? I made her the object. That's what integrity does. See, because integrity is not an individualistic thing in terms of selfishness. It doesn't. My perspective means the most to me, and so I'm gonna tell you the truth because my soul got to rest. No, my soul can also rest knowing that you walked out of my presence feeling empowered, feeling better, and I didn't have to lie to do it. I didn't have to, deceive you or manipulate you to do it. No, I just put it back on you. Hey, you wore that, girl, you wearing that dress. I bet, Elle, how you like this dress? You wearing that dress. You wearing it. How you feel about it? How you think you look? Listen, but then you better, listen, I feel great. Well, then you better walk like that. That's how you walk. Carry yourself like that. You know? Listen, how you really feel. It don't matter what I think or nobody else think. You, listen, you wearing that dress for you. Go ahead on and make that thing work for you. You see, you don't have to be harsh. You can walk in integrity with a level of intimacy, knowing that, yeah, it also matters how I say it. Season your words with what? With grace. Lord, give us the tongue of the learned, so that when we speak, we can speak a word to him that is weary. I don't want to exacerbate your insecurities trying to maintain my integrity. You should never put that on. You 20 pounds a week. You ought not to put that on. You look like a bus can of biscuits. That's not integrity. That's being rude. That's not how you do that. Especially, you don't know that person been in the gym losing weight. You don't know that they've already come down 20 pounds. So it still might be tight, but for them, that might be an improvement. So you season your words with grace. That's integrity too, because it matters how you say it. Yeah, you wearing that. Listen, you wearing that. I tell you, I see that smile on your face. Listen, I love it. Yeah, that's how you treat people. You know why? Because that's how you want people to treat you. Yeah. You know, I remember my Aunt Vernell, she baked some macaroni for a holiday event. And y'all, honestly, it was the nastiest thing it was just really nasty. But I don't remember my grandmama and my aunt. No, back it up. I don't remember my auntie. My grandmama said, that ain't it. Y'all just have to know my grandma. My grandma said, nope. And, well, here's what my auntie, she's really genteel. She's really, you know, what people call, you know, demure. That my auntie is just like really sophisticated. She's just, you know, every song is in high soprano. Ooh, everything is an opera. You know what I'm saying? She's one of them kind of ones, right? School librarian, just smarter than smart, right? And my auntie said, well, maybe the next time you cook it, you just don't put so much mustard in it. Now, first of all, I ain't never heard of no mustard in macaroni and cheese, but she said it so gently. And so my aunt was like, Mom Verna, she said, there's too much mustard. Yeah, and it's too much mustard this time. So the next time you make it, you know, don't put that much mustard in there. And she said it like only my auntie, my grandmother was like, no, they were two sisters. No, don't ever. Ice. Paper plates. Utensils. Yeah, you ain't got to ever. No, that's my grandmother. My aunt functioned in another level of diplomacy. Because what I don't want her to do, and my aunt said, I don't want her to ever cook again, because this right here is not good, you know. And we would sit all around. It's when families sat around the table for real for Thanksgiving, and we've been waiting on that macaroni, and it was so pretty, and it was so golden. But Lord, my Savior, my Lord, my King. I was like, wow. Yeah, I remember that. My goodness. And so, but she smoothed it over, and she said, okay. And this aunt had a history of making things that we don't eat, right? You know, that was just, So she made, y'all ever heard this thing called ambrosia? It's like this fruit cocktail and stuff, and you get coconut, and she put coconut and stuff in it and everything, and she would bring it to her. It would always look so nice in terms of presentation, but tasting, my goodness. Her husband said, I don't want none of that. It tastes like croton oil. I was like, what? Is this what we doing? You know? And my aunt, this bowl looks so nice. And as children, we would fall out. We would fall out laughing. You know, my grandmother said, I ain't getting none of that. You know, you have those kind of people that function like that. And then you have the other people like my aunt who knows how to add a spoonful of sugar, as Mary Poppins says, to make the medicine go down. What kind of individual are you? Are you my grandmama? No. And they no use to lie to her. This ain't good. It look good, but girl, don't you ever do this again. That's someone. Or are you like my aunt? No, you think, the next time, don't do that. Don't, you can, if you need to more, if you're trying to get it more orange or get it more color, add more cheddar cheese, the darker cheese, the sharp cheese, and add more of that, or add a more egg yolk to it to make it a little bit more yellow, but don't add mustard French's, child. Don't add that much mustard. And I'm tickled because I can see it right now. And, that's this, and she had in the crystal, that's when they used to have crystals when they served everything, because that's when you bring out your best china and stuff. She had a crystal, and all you saw was this coconut floating on this fruit cocktail and all the other kind of stuff she put in it. We were like, what in the world as that? And so, we were like, don't put none of that on my plate because I'm not going to eat it. We're not, And so my grandma was like, nope, that ain't it right there. Where's the sweet potato pie? Where's the apple turnover? Where's that? Where's the pear cobbler? Where's that? Where's the pound cake? We ain't gonna eat that. No, take that back home with you to Charleston. And my aunt was like, well, no, it's XYZ. Yeah, what kind of person of integrity? Both of them, my aunt and my grandma, were people of integrity, but they were hilarious too, right? But we always have to frame it. It's a way we say it too. Integrity also involves intimacy. That I never want to crush anyone with my words, even when I have to be truthful. But speaking the truth in love, Ephesians says, we can grow up. Speaking the truth in love helps people grow up. And that is integrity when you add involvement, investment, and intimacy. Listen, I see the runway and we're about to land this broadcast, but I need you to stay right here. There's much, much more to come right here on The Culture Call.
This is the world premiere.
Well, family, we have had an amazing day. I'm telling you, I am so appreciative to each and every one of you. I want to remind you that we must become people of integrity. Bottom line. No ifs, no ands, no buts about it. I think it is important for us to know how to walk and how to behave and how to love one another as we build and go forward together. And I think it's important to evaluate integrity even in this election cycle. I'm not telling you who to vote for. Can't do that. Won't do that. But I am big on integrity. Just look. It's not a hard discovery if you pay attention. I want to challenge you to work on that and to mature in that and to add intimacy. Speak your words. Be who you are. Yeah, but speak the truth with love. Do everything with love. Involvement, investment, and yes, intimacy will make you a person of integrity. Don't you believe it? I believe it. Listen. Like my grandmama and my mama would say at the end of every phone call, I love you a bushel, I love you a peck, and I love you a hug around the neck. This has been your boy, Bishop L. Spencer Smith, right here on The Culture Call. Praise 93.3 and 790 WTSK. Until tomorrow for another, did y'all hear me, another awesome show. I want you to be right here at 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Don't miss Brother Jay at 5 if you're up that early. I'm telling you, it's going to be an awesome, awesome morning on tomorrow. Listen, love somebody intentionally, be at peace, stay in your integrity, right? Make sure that you do that. Don't let anybody take that away from you. Please, ma'am, please, sir. And you don't have to be nasty to walk in integrity. Did y'all hear what I just said? You don't have to be nasty to walk in integrity. I want to make sure that you got the lesson. Don't be like my grandmama, I guess. No, that ain't it. No. But speaking the truth in love, you can help somebody grow up. And we need each other. Be involved, invest, and love. That's my word for the day. Y'all be blessed. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. I'll catch you tomorrow.